Spark up. You quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Shh. All right. What's up, everybody? This is Phuck with Philly, live from the Phuck with Philly studio with your host MC Alley, Rondo, Sorrel on the photography, and we are sipping today on Human Robot Brewing, located at the same location as our good buddy today at Poes Sandwich Joint, and our special guest today, N.A POE, guys. Give it up. Hey.
Big homie.
So, Poe is the owner of Poes Sandwich Joint and is a longtime activist in legalizing marijuana. And you may have seen him on Exxxotica slinging his dick around for the world to see. And he should, man. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But so first off, Poe, you know, yeah, right.
What an introduction! I never slings his dick all around and
That's what I'm saying, man.
welcome.
That's a good way to describe Poe. He's slinging his dick around everywhere he goes, man. He's just slinging his dick in the food community in Philly. He's slinging his dick in the fucking marijuana community. You know what I'm saying? He's just slinging his dick around, dude. He's hanging out, right?
Mostly metaphorically, though, just for everyone.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Poe's not doing it anymore. Poe's tied down now. He's
Tied
slinging
down,
his
married
dick, ladies.
man. Just
Stay
playing.
off his dick.
Listen, at Poes, like when I'm making sandwiches at Poes, I got gloves on, I got a I got 2 condoms on. You know what I mean? I got a butt plug in. Everything's secure there.
Got to latex up.
Yeah, I'm cleaning. No, but so Poe, first off, man, you know, how's it been, you know, running the shop like through this this weird kind of quarantine time that's happening right now?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like we tried mostly to stay in front of what was going on because, you know, our old spot was just like a walk-up window. So most of my staff was pretty much trained to be able to handle, you know, like the crossover to being, you know, so strange. And I feel like also like just with my life, like basically over the last 10 years being like just as fucking strange, it was like, what, like Stephen King, The Stand is happening, like fucking bring it. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like that we kind of like just, you know, kind of just are all still doing what we're doing. And, you know, as weird as it is, it's like, I'm actually blessed in an odd way because all I really do is go home, go to work, and then I come home to my wife and my toddler. So like, unless I see someone hanging out the window, like dressed like a surgeon, like dropping a pizza to somebody, like I really am kind of like isolated, like from like the entire thing, which is good and bad because, you know, a lot of times people allow themselves to be overwhelmed. Me on the other end, you know, I'm gonna keep my head up kind of like, dude, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing a lot of motherfuckers out there like start to like break, you know what I mean? Or like be on the brink, you know, and it's like, you know, sit in a jail cell or, you know, deal with like adversity, you know, a lot, which I have. And I feel like that it's kind of in a way almost like equipped me for this. I always said, like, I feel like I got that Walking Dead DNA, like every motherfucker in the world be dead. Like I'll be like some crazy black lady with a sword and like some fucking like trash man. And like, it's like doing shit. Like, you know, I feel like I'm one of those cats, you know what I mean? So like, you know, in a lot of ways, I feel like that I was built for this, but you know, it's kind of odd, like having like success in times like this isn't necessarily like something you can really enjoy. Like I've ordered a couple pairs of like sneakers that I probably like shouldn't have it, you know what I mean? But it's like, well, you can't spend your money on them, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, them shit's at 200, but like, yeah, but you know, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was there today. Yeah, I was there today, and it was, you know, you know, people are coming in, like, people are ordering, people are getting their fucking food out from you. But to bring it back a little bit, so, like, maybe tell us, like, a little bit, like, where you're from, and kind of just, like, what growing up was like, you know, in the time that you grew up.
Fuck you, man. Yeah, I graduated high school in 1997, so
I didn't say the time, bro. Jeez.
God.
I was playing Oregon Trail when you all were sucking on titties and shit. So
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, you know, I was always kind of just like a rebellious cat, you know, and I went to college and I dropped out of college, and then, you know, I got involved in waiting on tables and shit, which kind of like gave me like a hustle where like I knew that I could go out and make money, you know, like that, like without an education.
Yeah.
And then about 10 years ago, this girl broke up with me, and I always wanted to do stand-up comedy. So I was like, well, I'm either going to try stand-up comedy or I'm just going to like jump off a motherfucking bridge, you know? And I'm like, well, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and do this first. So I got involved in comedy, and during that, I went to Occupy with what I like to say was like a flip cam and a dream. And I went down there, I started like fucking around making videos like y'all at Occupy Philly.
Yeah.
And then I got like kind of like co-opted by like crazy like anarchists. Like I think now they call them like Antifa, but like back then it really wasn't like called that shit.
You created Antifa, is that what we're saying, Paul?
Yeah. Please don't say that. I learned I learned about it, but I like didn't really care much about like the economy or fucking student like loan debt or anything like that. I cared about weed. So like we kind of started like almost like a militant like pot movement in Philly, because like we would like go places and like protest, and then you'd have to like essentially drag us like the fuck out of there, like stop us, you know. And we kept coming back and kept coming back. And I think that like that persistence I can definitely give back to like the heads I met at Occupy. Like, did they shower? You know, did the chicks shave their armpits? Like, no, but like they're super radical, and like they taught me a lot of like really radical pot tactics that I think that like really propelled us here. Because in a lot of places it's like, hey man, like legalize weed. Like, dude, like I'm in like a federal agent's like face with like a joint and shit, like, you know. So like I feel like looking back, you know, it's like insane. But I feel like that anyone that does anything like good is going to look, if you guys don't cringe at like 25 podcasts ago, right, like you're not growing like as artists and entertainers and shit. So like, you know, I'm sure like Eminem looks at his first record and it's like, oh, that's trash, or like whatever. But you're like, yeah, but without that motherfucking record, like you wouldn't have made those other records, and you wouldn't have became the person you did. So like what I am now, like I own it. Like the other day I was walking my kid past the school district, and like 5 or 6 years ago, like I did this video called Pot for Teacher, where I went to the fucking school district and I just blazed up a bone outside the school district. And then I basically presented a bunch of stats in video form that was like, well, look, if you fucking legalize pot, you know, you can pave the fucking roads, the kids can have fucking iPads, like whatever. I walk by there now, I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, how did I even do that? So, you know, it's interesting to see how your shit grows as time goes on. But I'm definitely thankful like for all the insane shit we did in this town, you know?
Yeah, so I guess, were you always involved in like creating these different kinds of like with the food that you were working with, right? Because you said you were waiting tables. Did you ever work in a kitchen or anything like?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I had a couple kitchens where me and my boy work in sandwich shops, and we grew up in Dago neighborhoods, so like we cut lunch meat while we were like kids and stuff. But like also just being like a stoner and then getting into fine dining, and then like, you know, being an Italian kid, I kind of like tried to like wrap all those things up into one kind of like way with Poes. Because if you go to Poes, there's like something for every kind of ass that there is. Like, you want a tofu fucking sandwich, like you want this, like whatever. Like, and I try to just like base that off of like kind of like my worldview, where it's like, how do you make everyone happy, you know, with food? And I also feel like a lot of people relate to Poes like in like a lifestyle kind of way, because like I'm pretty honest about who I am, you know. And I feel like that what I've learned over time is that not a lot of people can be as like bold as I am about like the way they feel. Like I'm like a 41-year-old stoner that like turned his drug money into a sandwich business, and I'm like a
yeah.
at this point.
That's why America.
Yeah, that's the American dream.
I'm about to say that's why America is one of the best countries.
You're living the American dream, bro. Look at you. I mean, now you got it with the wife and the kids. You got the restaurant, all these things, and it's because you took a chance on shit. And there's a lot of people that are pussies and don't want to take a chance.
When the first Poes closed, and because of all the shit that was going down, which I still can't talk about it, I couldn't say shit about like what really happened, you know. And in some fucking like Fishtown Facebook group, some woman that doesn't know me, doesn't know that I got an 8-month-old kid, that I'm like in this trouble, like I had to close this business, like no one knows the fucking details, starts like going off like about me, like in this group, who I am, what the fuck happened, you know, which she had no knowledge of. So like I called her a cunt. Well, this has been screenshotted like so many times. Like it gets like pulled back up for like other things, and it's like, look, dude, like I'll call like a cunt, like male or female, like in, you know, pretty much any situation. And I like to people to know that if you're fucking talking about me on the internet, like you may hear back from me. Like I personally answer all the message on the Instagram. I personally do like a lot of different shit.
Yeah, I'll get you.
You know, so like you can find like, you know, like here I am, like I'm a real fucking like human being, you know what I mean? And like, don't be talking shit like when you don't like know, you know. And I feel like we mostly have that support, but I've also mostly learned now that at this point it's better for me to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
people love the sandwiches. It's going well.
No, yo, honestly. No, but what I'm about to say is, like, honestly, you in a position where, like, you own your shit. So it's like you're in a position of ownership. So you kind of got the freedom to say whatever the hell you want to say when you want to say it to whoever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? So that brings me to a question. question, like through your journey, how important would you say ownership? How important? Yeah, how important would you say ownership means to you now? Like with everything that you've been through and all the stuff that you own now, and you know what I mean, being an owner of your own restaurant and everything like that.
Well, even going back to when we were like throwing the parties and like, you know, we were making a lot of money and they were awesome. And people were like all jealous. Like, dude, like my girl worked like 30 hours on this party this week. We have 18 vendors. We have 4 bands. I have like all this shit. Like, dude, you couldn't fucking pull this off. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to talk, and I know how much hard work it takes to actually be successful and have like ownership. Like I've owned this restaurant twice. I've like been through like a lot of different shit. So like basically now I just basically dust off everything because I feel like that like people that are talking about you, they know who you are, but you have no fucking idea who they are. You know what I mean? And like that is the point right there, right? Like it's like, well, that's your opinion. And with ownership too, like, do I want to brand my stuff like the way I do? Like, could I share like anti-Trump shit like all day long because I think that guy's a jag-off? Yeah. But like maybe 15% of the people that eat at like Poes like support Trump. So like, why the fuck would I want to like alienate them from eating fucking meatballs because of this? You know what I mean? Like from a business perspective, I want to be a grown up.
And it is some people out there like that. Yeah. He don't like Trump, so I'm not gonna eat his meatballs. Like it is some people out there like that.
And look, dude, people on the far left like tend to like hate me just as much as like people on like the far right. So like I feel like that just those two groups in general, like people that are offended about everything and people that want to fucking shoot guns in their fucking underwear, you know what I mean? Like
you can't please everybody.
Like, both those motherfuckers go off. You know, I paid my dues, man. I've seen the inside of some fucking dirty fucking places. You know what I mean? Like I've had guns to my head and shit. You know, and like I think that now that I'm a father and a business owner, that like that resonates with people that like, you know, I even thought like if we had more time in the world or shit was okay, like I'd love to speak at like jails about like, you know, like, hey dude, like, you know, I'm a fucking felon, you know what I mean? Like, and I own this business, you know, and I hire other criminals and, you know, most of them are weed criminals. I mean, don't come in with some fucking statutory into my kitchen unless you want to just wash dishes.
But see, honestly, I don't like the way that lingers around. Like
statutory rapists, all statutory rapists, do not call my store, please.
just a key note, yeah.
No, but I don't like the way that lingers around. Like if you did get a charge or whatever, I feel like if you did your time, if you did what you had to do, that shit is over with. Like, why does that shit gotta still stay? Why am I still considered this? Y'all still trying to label me this? I already did my time. I'm done with that shit. I feel like I was a felon, but shit, I'm on some whole other shit now. You feel what I'm saying? Why does that gotta stay? You feel me?
Well, you know, the thing I think that's interesting and what I'm seeing at Human Robot is like our demographic there is maybe like 25 to 45, from like college kids to young parents that still wear band t-shirts and shit like myself, right? And we don't give a fuck. Like we're all in that demo, right? It's like once you get above that, like adults that aren't of our generation, I think that they have more of like a stigma that goes along with it. And I think that like a lot of people probably think that like I'm cool because of it, that like, you know, patronize the business. And I think that like, you know, that's another testament to how far Phuck's come, because, you know, like I could be some dirty hippie like criminal, right? But like I'm not. I'm a business owner, and you know, I have a family and shit. So, you know, is it boring? Yeah.
But you're living the fucking. I mean, at the end of the day, man, that's just kind of better off than some other fucking ways, man. That's all I'm saying.
You got ownership, man. Yeah. That's some big shit.
This is my floor, you know, and then like you're saying, like with I get to do like. You know, and I have a lot of weird connections, and I do a lot of weird production stuff. So, like, you know, I've been shooting that Exxxotica porn shit. So, like, I have my outlets. I can't wait to show my son with me in bed.
Yeah. So wait, real fast. How did you get involved with them? Because well, real quick, I just want to say the first time we actually like interacted with Poe, we were calling places that we like held this little Instagram poll, like best spots in like North Philly, kind of like. What is it? I guess it's Fishtown, right? We did the best of Fishtown. Yeah. And everyone was saying, like, Poes. So, and then we called these other spots. We called and we did the whole, like, hey, this is PWP, you know, we are here to, you know, we held an Instagram poll and we'd love to shoot an episode for you, you know, all this other shit. And they're like, okay, let me get back to whatever. We called Poe. And he was just like, someone answered, he's like, oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I'll put on Poe. And Poe was like, what's up? And I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, you know, and he was like, what is it, some fucking food show or something? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that sounds cool, man. Just fucking call me when you can make it, I guess. All right. You got my Instagram, right? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, all right, cool. And I hung up and I was like, all right, that's gonna be cool, man. And that was cool. You check out the episode. We actually went in there right before it all fucking opened up. That's when you're actually doing you know, the takeout
before it was even made. It was
before
we got exclusive footage of we got exclusive.
Facts. And I came back and then we, you know, got the grand opening when Human Robot came. Yeah, so you know, that was a good time. I mean, it's really cool to see all that. But real quick, Poe, talking back, right? So when's the first time you smoked weed or got high?
I was probably like 14. We used to hang in like the woods behind the McDonald's. Fucking like Ready to Die just came out and shit. Fucking Mobb Deep the Infamous was like out and shit. Nas-O-Matic. And we used to go behind this fucking like this. We used to call it the tree. We used to go down to the tree and we get fucking 5 for $20 bags, fucking from 63rd Street. Some 40 ounces of Mickey's and shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. We used to be drinking Mickey's all the fucking time, man.
All right, now, Poe,
Mickey's
be honest.
And fucking Hurricanes and shit.
Be honest, Poe. Did you start off smoking Reggie's? Be honest, Poe.
I smoked a lot of Reggie in my life, man.
We all have, man.
We all did.
Yeah. It's funny. These kids don't know what it's like, man. You can't even get Reggie anymore.
Well, it's funny. My girl is like, she's 27 and she grew up in Cali, so she's never smoked Reggie in her life. Like when she was getting stoned when she was 15, it was like, you know, Cali medical.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They don't know about them Reggie days, man.
I remember the first time I caught like headies, right? Was fucking this. I got a fucking. I mean, totally got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking little pinch of it, and they're like, "Dude, you just throw this in a fucking bowl, you'll be high like all day." And I'm like, "All right, dude." You know what I'm saying? I'm like fucking 12. I'm like, "Sounds good, man. Yeah, I got it." And I fucking smoked that shit. I'm like kind of high. Shared it with like 6 motherfuckers that threw in $3 each for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit was. That I remember. I had the fucking. I used to smoke big ass fucking Dutch Masters of Reggie. Have a big booming ass headache afterwards. Had to take a Tylenol or something. That shit was horrible. You gotta drink Arizona. You gotta get Arizona after, man. That shit was horrible.
But fucking, oh yeah, so Exxxoticas. So how'd you get in with these?
Yeah.
When we met you, you're like, I did these episodes with some, you know, I smoked and interviewed some porn stars. And to be fair, porn stars that I've definitely beaten my dick to a bunch of times. So that was pretty cool. Because, like, I saw them and I'm like, I know you. I seen you before.
I know that ass anywhere.
I was working for this TV station in Philly called Scrapple TV. We were sitting in the office and he's like, yo, we got this assignment to go to this fucking porno convention in New Jersey and shoot, you know, a thing, do whatever you want. Do your, like, stuttering. I used to do a lot of, like, stuttering John Man on the street type of shit. And I said, yo, why don't we do a show called Wake and Bake? My friend, he's in a reggae band, he'll write the song. I'm like, you just get me a couple broads, grab me room 420. I'll do like this kind of Barbara Walters fucking interview with you.
Does popping get horny?
Yeah, it doesn't make me more horny. It makes me feel more, like, even right now, I'm like, oh. Like.
It's a little different than Barbara Walters, but yeah, I feel that.
But, so, like, we shot one season of them, and, you know, it was just awesome. And then we went to Denver, and the Denver hotel was crazy. Like it had like a waterfall in it, and like we had the whole hotel taken over. Where like you'd be at the bar, and you'd look over, there'd be like Ron Jeremy with some girl you'd like spanked two days ago. You're like, what the fuck is
going on? I could imagine that hotel needed to be bought out if you got a bunch of, you know, professional fuckers. You know,
professional fuckers.
So check it out. So I got kicked out of the room 420 in Denver for blazing. And the hotel manager, who was a Christian, said that I saw your videos online with these girls and this fucking idiot fucking smoking weed in bed, and that's not happening in my fucking hotel. And if you just want to come back,
they could say that.
Listen, I guess, but this is after we shot everything. If you want to come back,
oh, all right, yeah.
The next year, then you can't put these out. So I shot with like Stoya, Adria Ray, Megan Rain, and Adriana Chechnik. It's the second season. Who's the other one? Jenna Hayes. They'll be a little too old for you, but she's fucking blowjob queen in the 90s. Shout.
I'm about to look all them up as soon as we done.
Do your research, man. Do your porn research, man. You're talking to savant here, dude. The fuck?
Yeah, fair enough as well. So
Woo.
even now, I'm like, yo, let's do a wake and bake with like this one. She's like, who's that? I'm like, dude, you guys need to get like step your game up to see who's like new in the scene and shit. Like, I'm trying to get these new hoes. You're like, we got Christy Canyon out there and shit.
Was that tough laying? I mean, maybe you don't have to talk about it. Was that tough laying in bed with them and not like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this section. Oh, my bad.
Bro, like the second season, like it was Megan Rain and Adriana Chechnik, and they come in and they're just like two balls of like sex, like, you know what I mean? Like they were just like literally like vibrating. Like, so they both like
Poes vibrating too. Poes like.
I was just like they both jumped in bed with me, and like 2 minutes into, Megan Rain is like, oh, is this like a scene? I'm like, everyone get the fuck out. You know?
The cameras stay. You're like, yeah, this is a scene. Camera guys stay. The audio guys get the fuck out of here.
So I had like this Furia weed lube, and I gave it to Megan Rain, and she started like rubbing it up. I'm like, this is fucking insane. Like I was like smoking I was smoking so much. They gave me like $1,000 to buy pot. So I bought fucking everything. And we shot him. And then when quarantine started, he's like, yo, let's bring back Wake and Bake. So the other day I interviewed Kenzie Reeves, and then the other day I interviewed Jillian Jansen. It was just funny, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in the same kind of situation, and I ain't looking at your fucking scraggly ass.
Hell yeah.
Like bed that look like they're because I guess they're well, what I learned is they're on OnlyFans all day long banking. Like OnlyFans, I learned like basically you can be like, yo, famous lady, you want to stick a cucumber up your ass? I got $500, and then she'll like pause the video game and like either do that or like.
For real?
Know that? That's what quarantine.
Yeah, well, you apparently like asked for something. Right?
Really?
Right. You pay the base subscription a month, which is fucking nothing, and then you have direct access. So like, you know, and I was, you know, it got to the point where now like I asked them like what they're like the craziest shit anyone asked them for on OnlyFans. Kenzie Reeves told me some dude asked her at 2 racks. He said shit in a condom, freeze the condom, let's fuck your ass with the condom, and 2 racks.
$2 grand?
Yeah,
Oh
my sister
God.
at work the other day. She's like, $2,000, I'd do it.
That's good amount of money.
What?
That's what I'm saying, bro. What the fuck?
Yo, it's some crazy ass. What the? Why would he?
So we did a couple of them, and now we're going to be releasing the 6 episodes of Wake and Bake. I'm going to make sure that I get you guys press passes for the Jersey one in the fall when they do it.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go.
We out there.
PhuckWithPhilly is going to start slinging their dick around too. We're going to sling our dicks around like Poe. We're going to be like Poe and sling our dicks around.
They're great guys. They become great friends, and I can joke around. Dude, I love porn, like, because I love porn, and then secondarily, I love it because it's like a weird, it's like a weird family of people, right? Because the thing is like everyone jerks off to these people, but like no one wants to marry them. Like no one wants, like, you know what I mean? Like they're everyone's dirty little secret. So they've created like kind of like this community to a certain extent, you know what I mean? And like it's beautiful, like in its own like twisted, like, you know, kind of way. Like, you know, some of these people are married. Like if you can fucking like be married to a girl and watch her do a black scene, like then salute. But like I couldn't do it. So I mean it takes you know?
Yeah. Each their own.
Black is fucking crazy. They be going in on it.
No doubt. Yeah.
No doubt.
With elephant trunks. Yeah. Yo.
This is rated TVMA. We gotta put rated TVMA on this joint. Fuck it.
But I really wanted to, like, I really felt like connected to it. And like a lot of the girls, like, you know, you do like an hour, like the shoot, right? So like you probably end up smoking like 3 joints, you know? So like you're completely fucked up there with like someone that's like a sex worker and you're like this rando, like in their bed. And like, they're really professional because they're used to being like, you know, on camera and shit. But like, it's funny because there's certain ones now that like pictures of my kid because like once you spend like that hour together, like blazing like that, it's like, hey, you know, sorry about your uncle. Yeah, you know.
I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. That's funny.
Yeah, you get deep with these motherfuckers, you know. So I mean, dude, look, I like the way I look at it is like I have a unique life, you know what I mean? Like I like can complain about owning a sandwich shop and you know I'm not complaining about being a dad, but having a family is a fucking definite change from being a dude that's fucking running around the country smoking pot and doing whatever the fuck he wants. But for that point in life, I believe that I'm probably luckier than the next asshole 9, but I've also paid my dues. So,
Hell yeah.
You've worked for it. You know what I'm saying? So with Poes, right? So what like? How did you start finding these certain sandwiches? Were you just kind of like baked up and like making some delicious ass sandwiches, and you're like, this would be because the flavors there is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the names match perfect. You got the big pussy, the weed man.
Yeah.
You got
and the weed man is my favorite. I mean, that's just like there's so many crazy flavors. Like, I mean, you had to have worked in a bunch of different kinds of kitchens. I mean, like the taste is just like, how do you even create these sandwiches?
I definitely have. I mean, like the Italian stuff, like is definitely just like, you know, shit from like my family, right? But then like my buddy is in this huge Grateful Dead cover band called Almost Dead. And he lent me like some money to open the joint. And he's like, yo, I want fucking French fries in the sandwiches. I'm like, you're a jerk off. You're a jerk off. You know, he's like, you want the fucking money? Like, put French fries in the sandwiches. So I'm like, all right. And then the Hamilton was born, you know, and like, you know, now like I sell so many of them, like the Baby Wook, which is like a friend of mine's a glass blower in Rhode Island. And his tagline used to be feed the baby Wooks. Because he had a couple kids and he was a glass blower and he was like a Wookiee ass Grateful Dead motherfucker. So like when I wanted to name a sandwich after him, I was like, yo, you know, his name's Mohawk Glass. I'm like, Mohawk this, Mohawk. I'm like, nah, fucking, you know, Baby Wook. And you know, the rest of them were basically dudes from my fantasy football league, which like are like my like friends that I've had for 25, like 30 years, or like my brothers. My brother's the Birdman. You know, so it's like. You know, and I feel like that's the kind of flavor like people like kind of like and like a lot of people like their way like eating through like Poe's menu. Like the Jeggy Boy is like the tofu one, and like we have a friend in my fantasy league. He's like the biggest pussy. He's like an only child. He's like the type of dude that would take like his ball home if he didn't win the game and shit. So I'm like, this dude's like this motherfucker's getting the fucking vegan fucking sandwich. So every time I hear it like called, like he still like gets his balls busted. It's like I'm like, yo, cuz you're the tofu sandwich.
Fucking funny as shit, bro. But that's crazy. I mean, did you think this would turn into? Oh my bad. But did you think this would turn into such an income? You know what I'm saying? Like this is like, it's pretty crazy. Like something that.
Yeah, for something that started as basically a way for me to take money that was buried in a backyard and turn into something like kind of legitimate. Like it's actually like a huge honor that people like it as much as they do, because obviously Philly is like an insanely amazing food city. And like, you know, I'll pretty much act humble publicly like about it, but like, you know, I am proud that you know, people aren't proud enough nowadays, right? They're always like hiding, like they're either too proud or whatever. I am proud that I turned, you know, I don't feel like I fucking ever had to turn my life around. I don't apologize for who the fuck I am. I'm proud of who I am too, but to quote unquote in a society fashion, turn the motherfucker around and be like, oh, okay, like I can do it your way too, and I can do it well. Like that, you know, like I'm proud of that. And, you know, I think that I blow shit up and fucking, you know, like I'm glad that I blew this motherfucker up too, you know, and I'm glad that it's something that I don't ever have to worry about as long as I pay my fucking taxes.
That's like some Rick Ross shit. You know Rick Ross story? The real Rick Ross. You know the real Rick Ross, right? Yeah, that's like that. That's what he did. He came out. he got big. Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. He used to. The real Rick Ross was getting cocaine from the federal government and selling it, and the federal government was using that money to fund a war, right? And they tried to prosecute him and all that shit. He got away with it, but he came out and he legitimized his hustle. You know what I'm saying? He turned that shit around and did that shit another way and successful at that way. So that's a good correlation right there.
I'm gonna try to catch like a nice 40-minute A&E YouTube on him or something later on. You know what I mean?
hell yeah. He's the truth. He is the truth.
Yeah, like
hell
the fuck.
Yeah.
Yo, but fucking so linking up with Human Robot, how have you seen that grow too?
Oh man, like dude, like when I met these guys, I felt like they were like drinking at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like smoking weed at 9 o'clock in the morning. all of a sudden I finally met people that like were the alcoholic version of pothead. Like these motherfuckers are gonna like drink like for 2 hours before noon. They're just smiling and shit. They want a meatball, like, you know what I mean? Like, so like I kind of felt like they were like the fucking like the alcoholic versions of us as potheads, you know?
Everybody got their vice.
Love the beer. Like they do like. They do like these splash beers now that like people like love, where they're like banging like their IPAs with fruit and stuff, which are just gorgeous. And like I knew from the reputation that shit was going to be banging because like I like, you know, wanted to research who I was getting in bed with, you know, and everyone that it bounced back off of were like, all these guys were fucking like whatever. And then like the beer has been like just insane. And you know, they're holding their own too during this whole thing, man. I mean, like they're doing like takeout, you know, people, they're doing all types of different stuff. People are going to have to become creative, you know, and like it's a great partnership. And it's as sad as it is that it's on hold. We know that we have like a fucking like juggernaut when like things come back, and we're looking forward to just being able to like come outside, get stoned with you guys, and you come in, buy you some fucking beers, grab some food. Like I miss being
hell yeah,
giving back to the community. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the community more than anything, right? Is getting fucked up some kind of how, right? That's the American way.
Everybody got
I want to
their
eat a
vice.
shitload of good tasting food. I want to drink a bunch of fucking beer. I want to get high. I want to just do it all. Because this is America. You know what I'm saying?
do everything.
We can do this. Wave our flags high and start fucking riding in pickup trucks. You know what I'm saying? Fucking do your thing, man. Just enjoy yourselves.
Give
right?
me a nice little 67 Camaro. Or 67.
one day at a time. I'm just trying to fucking, you know, keep making delicious sandwiches for everyone. Stop offending, you know, Karens out there, and fucking.
Nah,
try to
fuck
make the
Karen.
world a better
Karen can
place,
get mad. This isn't the food for her, then. You know what I'm saying? She can sit there and be bitchy all she fucking wants. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making a sandwich for you, Karen. Just saying. I'm not. I don't want to speak for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like I'm like I ain't doing it for you. But I just feel like that's how it is, man.
I mean, I want you guys to definitely come to the porn convention this year. I definitely think we're gonna have some great things going on 5th Street once we come party again. And fucking,
you had me at porn,
actually my fucking favorite.
Count us in.
You had me at porn.
Yeah.
Count us all the way in.
We're totally into it. We love talking to people.
If you guys should interview one porn star, who would it be?
Me, Ava Divine, because she's been in the freakiest pornos I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What about you, Poe? Who's someone you would want to interview?
I don't know. I interviewed Adria Ray, and that was it. That was fun. I don't know. I'm more into amateur porn nowadays, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like if I watch amateur porn, I turn into like I just start fucking amateur. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like it fucks you up. This is a bunch of dorks that are like barely stroking a pussy because they don't even know what to fucking do with it, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what, you know what I'm saying? Can't do it, man.
No, I feel you, but I think yeah, I feel you. I gotta go. I told my wife I watched the Hunger Games with her.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was a wonderful being with you guys tonight. I'm glad we finally got to do this, and I'd like to, set up a live show at Human Robot once fucking things get up.
Dude, we would love it.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
You're a fucking guy, Poe. You want to shout out anybody just to top it off or anything?
No, fuck everyone. No.
Yes, there you go. You heard it from me. Yeah, fuck y'all. Fuck all y'all.
Poes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Philly Police on Instagram.
Philly Police.
But hit him up at Poes Sandwich Joint. We love you, Poe. We appreciate you coming out, bro. We'll see you real fucking soon, man. Check us out. Until next time, kids, this is Phuck with Philly. Bang.
Stay safe.